What's up, folks? Welcome to Mindset Tabletop, and welcome back to Heavy Euro Games Part 2. Now we're going to go down to another really beautiful, beautiful game. This is Distilled. Distilled is a game where you are playing someone who is trying to revive your family distilling business and bring it back to glory. You're doing that by collecting a bunch of different ingredients, distilling spirits, aging some of them, and then scoring points for everything that you've done. This also has some engine building in it where you can upgrade your distillery with new technologies, new experts, all these different things. Then you can get premium ingredients, which you're going to need to make your specific specialty distilled product. And you're also getting different barrels and bottles that will give you bonuses. You have a bottle collection that you're going to get points for at the end of the game. This is a very, very fun game, but the hook of this, which is so cool, is as you're going through the round, you're collecting these ingredients that you're going to put into this spirit that you're trying to distill. Then every drink needs water and yeast, but then you're going to be adding sugars, the specific types of sugars. Now, everybody has a flight, which is a list of different drinks that you can make. Those specific beverages require specific sugars to be used in them. So you're going to buy those sugars from this market. There's a basic market where you can get 2 from there and they're really cheap. And then there's a main market that has those premium ingredients that you're buying. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take all the ingredients that you've got. You're going to take your yeast and your water and you're going to put it into your washback. Then you're going to take your sugars, put those into your washback. And for every sugar card that you place into the washback, you're going to get an alcohol card. Then you're going to take everything and you're going to distill it, right? You're going to mix everything. And how you do that is by shuffling the cards. So this is really a really cool feature because you're actually mixing your ingredients together in your hand. Then you're going to take the top card and the bottom card and you're going to put them back into your pantry. That's the stuff that you lose. They're called the Angel's Share and the Devil's Take. Now, this is based off of a real thing that really happens in the distillation process where you have vapors that come off of the top of the liquid that escape, and those vapors are lost. That's what's called the Angel's Share, okay? Down below at the bottom of the tank, you've got the dregs, all of the solid stuff that's come from the sugars that has settled at the bottom. That's called the dregs or the Devil's Take. So the bottom card represents the dregs, the top card represents the Angel's Share, and you're putting those back into your pantry. You're going to get them later, but you lose them for now because that's the part of the distilling process that you don't use, the waste process. So it's really, really cool. Then you flip over the rest of the cards that you have. And if you have the correct sugars to make the product that you were going for in that hand of cards, then you have made your drink. If that drink has a clay or wood barrel, generally those can be aged. So you may not sell it at the end of the round. You may keep it. If you keep it, you're going to give it more points by aging it. And then you're going to add a flavor card to it. You're also complexifying the flavors of your beverage by aging it. So they have all these really, really interesting, funky flavor cards that are all kinds of different weird stuff that you wouldn't expect. It's very fun to kind of delve into the way people describe different things. You know, there's musk, there's fruity flavors, but then there's also really weird flavors like horse manure and crazy stuff like that. So there's all these weird flavors that can come out of your aged spirits, but you're only going to be selling 1 per round. So you have to think about, what do you want to get your points from? How are you going to get your specific specialty beverage made? That's your kind of long-term goal throughout the whole game. Plus you have these little goal cards that you have to meet. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention what happens if you don't have the correct sugars in your spirit. If you don't have the correct sugars in your spirit, but you have like a different type of sugar or inadequate sugar, then you can make a vodka. If you don't have any sugars left, then you're going to make a moonshine. And those are, you still get to sell them. You still get to make some stuff from them, but you're making less money and getting fewer points from those lesser beverages that are made when you lose the wrong ingredients in the distilling process. All right, so you're scoring your spirits, your objective cards, and there are spirit awards as well that get you points. I got the Kickstarter edition here, which is a really beautiful box. It's got all the extras in it. It's a gorgeous production, and it was well worth it. But yeah, Distilled is an awesome Euro game. It's really fun. It looks really hard at first, but in the end, it's not as difficult as it seems. So I definitely recommend Distilled. And next up, we're going to be moving on to Empires of the North. Unfortunately, I just have not figured this game out yet. Again, this is another one that can probably be on my shelf of shame because I have soloed it. I have not played it multiplayer yet, and I still don't completely get it. This is one of those games where you're going to do something now and then you're going to gain the benefits from it later. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of, okay, we'll do this now. We'll tell you why that happens later on. So it's been very, very hard to figure out, and this is going to take repeat plays to get down. So when I know more about this game, I'm definitely going to do some content on it because it looks very, very fun. It's got a great look to it. It's a worker placement style game. It's not really a typical worker placement game, but it's got some of that stuff. You're taking basically different actions to score points in different ways, typical Euro. When I know more about Empires of North, we'll get heavier into that. Okay, and down here we have Rajas of the Ganges. This is kind of a sandbox Euro game that is just, it's got all kinds of yummy little pieces. So this is a worker placement game at its base. You're going to start by placing a worker. Some spots are free, some cost money. The more people have taken that spot before you are going to make it more expensive to do. You're using worker placement and dice together. This is also dice placement. So you're gaining dice, you're converting dice into rewards, you're moving a boat down a river and getting rewards as you go along. You're using fame to mitigate dice rolls. You're expanding your province. You're paying dice to get these Carcassonne style tiles to put down on your personal player board. They all are going to link roads back to your original temple. But then when you get to the edges of the board, you get certain bonuses for reaching these spaces at the edge. Kind of like in Trismegistus, when you fill in the parts of the library, you're getting bonuses for reaching the edge. And you're also getting immediate bonuses and ongoing bonuses, doing a little bit of even set collection in these spaces on the board as you lay tiles out that lead back to your temple. So there are two tracks on the outside of the board. There are money and fame. These are your two ways of like scoring. And when your money and fame tracks cross over, that's going to trigger the end of the game. You're going to finish that round, and whoever's crossed over the farthest at the end of that round will win the game. Ark Nova borrowed that from Rajas of the Ganges here. So you've got a lot of cool stuff going on. You've got like basic worker placement, you've got dice placement, you've got dice mitigation, you've got tile laying. You've got so much in this game. There's so much fun to be had in Rajas of the Ganges. It's just really a fun game, and it's something that I really wish I've gotten to the table more than I have. Like all of these, these are the games that are hard to get to the table, folks. These heavy Euros scare the heck out of people, and if you're not experienced in playing modern board games, these can absolutely burn your brain right out of your head. But they are so fun when you get them down. If you see a heavy Euro that catches your attention and you haven't played one yet, just grab it and play it. I highly recommend it because these games are the hardest, but they are also the most rewarding. So yeah, definitely check these out. All right, we got one more, folks, and we're going back to the T series. Okay, and down at the bottom here, we've got Teotihuacan, City of Gods. This is the deluxe master set that I got from Kickstarter. I knew I had to have it as soon as I heard that it was going to Kickstarter. Teotihuacan was the first T game that actually caught my attention. I mentioned it to my buddy Blake, who I play Euro games with, and he went out and got it. So we played this numerous times. Absolutely love this game. This is a rondel game where you are moving dice around the board to take different actions. But this is very different when it comes to dice games because there is no rolling of the dice. What you're doing is you're taking dice that start at ones. I think you start with a 1, a 2, and a 3 or something like that, or a 1 and 2 twos, something like that. And that indicates the power of the die. You're going to choose a die at the beginning of each turn, and you're going to move it 1 to 3 spaces around the 8 slots that are around the outside of the board. You're going to land on a space, and you're going to take that action based on how many dice are there and how many dice of your color are there. you're going to take a weaker or more powerful action. The pips on your die also indicate the power of that action. The lists are all on the spaces right there on the board. You can see immediately what you're going to get. But you're basically moving these dice 1 to 3 spaces, landing on a space, taking the action, and then after you take the action at the end of your turn, you're going to move the die up 1 pip. So a 2 will become a 3, a 3 will become a 4. When 5s become 6s, that die dies. And then it goes back to the start space and it becomes a 1 again. So you're kind of cycling these dice through. You start off the game with 3, and you're using those dice to take all these different actions, build all these things, and move up these tracks to score the most points. When you eclipse, when these 2 tracks cross over, there's going to be like 3 different eclipses, and that will trigger the end of the game. So the more that you do, the faster the eclipses happen, the faster the game can be. You score everything at the end of an eclipse, and at the end of the third, you're going to score up the entire game. There are modules that come with this version of the game, and that's like the priests and priestesses, which give you variable player powers at the beginning. There's a modular board, which kind of changes the actions a little bit. You can change the position of the actions. There's a map that you can move along and collect bonuses, kind of like the city board in Unconscious Mind. And there's an extra track that you can use, this orange track that gives you bonuses, and another resource called Obsidian. So Teo is fantastic, man. This is the game that got me into Euro games and got me fascinated with this stuff and got me started on Daniele Taschini and the T games and board and dice and this really heavy side of the hobby. I'm really, really thankful for this game. I absolutely love this. This is one of my prized possessions, this set. And it's absolutely huge and wonderful. I've even got a little custom player board for holding resources and tiles and stuff for this that a friend 3D printed for me. I got to figure out how to print these myself with my printer. So that is the heavy Euro games, folks. And we're going to move on to the next section in the next video. And next, we'll be moving on to worker placement games. Kind of fits in with this theme because a lot of these games were worker placement. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video, whatever that may be, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience while I figure out all the technical side of all of this. And thank you for tuning in, and especially thank you for staying till the end here. If you liked what you saw here, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. What's your favorite game here? What is your favorite heavy Euro game? Are any of these games terrible? Tell me why. Let me know what you think about this stuff. And I will see you in the next one, folks. Thank you so much.